39,000 kilometers on this bad boy. Whoa. Check, look at this, Don.
This is nice.
Isn't it? Isn't it? This is like a fine, reliant automobile. This thing is like this is the van. This is the premium quality Dodge Caravan.
Caravan, yeah.
It's nearly 2 decals old.
A classic.
You don't know the plan yet. I never tell you the plan.
No,
right?
no, that's fine.
You're just along for the ride, right?
That's
right.
right.
You got your seatbelt on?
No, I will get that
No,
on.
I'm kidding. We don't need seatbelts. We don't need seatbelts where we're going.
I've seen how you drive.
That's right. All right. It's
There we go.
The brakes work.
Safety first.
Safety first.
Yep.
Safety eventually. Pothole. Oh. Shocks are good. Forwards it is. We're gonna wait until the ground thaws a little bit, turn this thing around, but yeah, forwards is not bad. Power windows though. Well, good morning guys. It's a special day at the off-grid. It's even specialer project. This is the specialer. Is that even a word? I don't even know. So we've got the old Dodge Caravan. It's a 2003. That's like nearly 20 years old, but it's still got lots of life in it. This thing could be even called like the super van. This thing's pretty cool. So let's give you a little bit of a tour in this thing. This has got dual sliding doors at the back, so you can kind of get inside both ways. That one's a little broken. We got to fix that one because, well, we want to be able to get in both sides. That is the extra convenient. It slides, so you can get in and out of places real easy. And then we got a front door, because that's important. Driver's side door. This bad boy has 439,448 kilometers on it. That's a lot of kilometers. Well, you know what? It's probably got at least 100,000 kilometers left in it. This thing is fully loaded. It's got a tape deck. It has got, you know what a tape deck is, boys and girls? I guess my crowd's not that young. It's got a tape deck. It's not a beta. It's not beta. It's a tape deck, a legitimate tape deck, and it's got a CD player, which is pretty cool. It's got, you know, the dual captain's chairs with the dual armrest. Does it have dual? It has a single armrest on the one side, which is quite convenient. It's got seats that go back and forth. It's got seat belts. It's got power outlets or cigarette lighter adapters, depending on how you wanna choose. It's got, like, I think, air conditioning, heating. It's got power windows, power door locks. Oh, look at that, the windshield wipers work, and the squirty thing. They gave me some squirt juice. This thing is loaded. The back's fully tinted, which is going to be quite convenient for our next portion of the build, because we're taking this van and we're going to turn it into the ultimate boondock. The boondocking camper van of the future. This thing's gonna be cool. They didn't give me any gas either. This thing would have doubled its value if it was had even a half a tank of gas. Let's see, we want to see the back? Come on, let's go, let's give a tour of the back. So we're in the back now. We got a dual row of captain chairs in the back, which are all gonna be removed because we want more room for stuff. So we're pulling all this stuff. This thing is almost too nice to take apart. Well, it's not that nice. We're gonna take this thing apart. This is like the cleanest used van I've ever seen. So I got it for around 500 bucks. Which is a steal, because in theory you could actually take the thing as is. You could park this thing over at Walmart and carry on with life. With current gas prices, you might consider doing that. Anyways, not driving it around because gas prices are crazy right now. Hey Don, how are the fumes back there?
Pretty bad.
She's got power. What do you think, Don? Don's outside inspecting the engine or something. What do you think? What do you think of this bad boy, Don?
It's beautiful.
Isn't it nice?
Look at the wipers.
Aren't they? Like, somebody loved this van.
Look
This
at
thing is
that.
well maintained.
Those are huge.
They're very huge wipers. It's got a lot of front,
Windscreen.
so you can enjoy the vista wherever you park this thing, whether it be in a Walmart parking lot or at the edge of like a river. You know, we could take this van and go park it
Down by the river.
down by the river. And what's also cool about this, the back of this thing, is it's got a nice rear hatch. It's got like a built-in awning, so when you're back here, you gotta kind of use your imagination a little bit. When you're back here, you can be cooking, camping, whatever. You got your little seat back here. You're covered from the rain or the sunshine, so you can hang out back here. It's a nice relaxing spot. Air out your sleeping quarters when you're done for the night. I bet you if you listed this thing today as a little house, you'd probably get like just over what, $1.2 million for it or something. This guy have hardwood floors in it and granite countertops. Stainless steel appliances.
As it is, probably
$500,000 just as is.
with a bed.
With the proper marketing, with a bed. You add a bed to this thing, you list it, and it's a portable house. Portable house on wheels. All right, let's get started. We got to remove pretty much all the seating because we don't need much seating because we're not going to be much sitting.
Yeah, it's pretty black coming out there.
Well, that just sounds like it's got power. That smells like $6 worth of gas.
Yeah.
That was because I jammed it into the snowbank. It's okay. So these are the old school what, stow and go? Are they not stow? Look at there's a button right here. It just
Yeah.
I think pull and it just ejects or something. Hit the eject button. I think it's a two-person. Let me get a tripod. If I haven't already said so already, this thing is going to be the ultimate camper van. So but we've got to do the necessary modifications in order to accommodate people in the backside. Right now, a lot of sitting's going on. We want to be able to have people laying, and then we also want a kitchen area and a heating source because we don't want the price of gas these days. You kind of want to use some alternative fuel source in order to heat the thing. So we're going to do a wood stove and some bedding in the kitchen and all that sort of stuff. So, but first we got to get the seats out.
Push it.
Oh, there we go.
Okay, now, I don't know.
I think you pull up. It was that easy. This thing's nice. Well, that's as far as it goes. Oh,
Oh, no.
there we go. That's for.
It's not individual
you-
controls though.
Well, yeah, you gotta. There. It's like a bobsled. You're like this. You're sitting along and you're all relaxing, and you're just like.
Oh.
You know what these are for, right? You know what these are for?
No.
This is the official use for these things is to smash the window if you get submerged in water. You're supposed to pull the headrest out and you're supposed to smash the window with these things.
Oh, yeah.
That's my public service announcement. These are useful. I think we should just quit for the day.
I think I've done enough.
Yeah, we've done.
Looks pretty open now.
It does, doesn't it? They're not light. Today's video is sponsored by Bespoke Post. It's a monthly membership club that sends you boxes of under-the-radar brands of top-shelf goods. And it's free to join. So every month, Bespoke Post introduces its members to really cool new stuff like barware, clothing, outdoor goods. The contents of the box changes every month. It's like Christmas every month. Preview your box before it's shipped. Based on your preference quiz, you'll get a box assigned to you, and before it ships, you'll get a preview of what comes inside and decide if you'd like it. You can either keep it, swap it out for a different box, or cancel the month entirely for no charge. You only pay for what you want. All right, box number one. This guy is an example of what you would get every month. So this is 1 month's worth of stuff. And did I mention each box contains about $70 in retail value worth of stuff. It only costs a fraction of that. So this is, let's take a look. Box one, we're opening it up. This, oh, look at that. Survival 101. This is one of the ones that I really wanted them to send me. This was it's a little hatchet. It's bare bones. That's the brand name. It's got the little cover on it. And take a look at that. That thing is sharp. I even like the handle. It's got nice varnish on it. That thing's a piece of art. All right, box number two. This one, oh yeah, this is the chop one. This was something that I was looking for. Actually, my wife does a lot of the cooking, so I was thinking, you know what? Maybe sign up for this particular box and give it to her for either like, you know, Valentine's Day or Christmas or her birthday or something like that. So that's chopped Marcellin kitchen knives. She's been wanting a really nice set of knives for a while. So Ulu blade, look at that thing. That thing so you can chop, chop, chop. A vegetable cleaver. As far as I can tell, a very nice kitchen knife. I'm not an expert in the situation. I'm a little scared of it. It looks like it's... It's sharp. All right, box number 3. Again, these are just examples of boxes that you would get once a month. So this is an example of 3 boxes that you get for 3 different months. This is the switchback box. Look at the paring knife. Extra sharp. It's got a nice grip on it. It doesn't allow you to slide up the handle. Fire starter. Tri-fold camp shovel. These are kind of cool. I've never used one of these before. I haven't even touched one. Look at that. Hi, Frankie. What do you think of this shovel?
What's it snow? Digging some... Come on. What's it snow?
This is all, again, in one box. Let's see what else we got here. LED lantern by Sprout. There it goes. Oh, it's got magnetic. You guys can't really see it because it's too, there it's on. It's too bright out here, but this is really cool. Never get lost. Well, you got to learn how to use it. But anyways, this is the Ren compass. This is the switchback box. It's got everything you need for outdoor adventure. This is really cool. To get 20% off your first order, click the link in the description below and enter promo code Self-Reliance20 to get 20% off your first box. Or go to bespokepost.com/selfreliance20.
A little unsure of how to remove these seats.
Pull it forward. You got, yeah. Oh, there you go.
Yeah,
there you go. Okay, now you gotta. I think you gotta get out.
Yeah, I think so. Just a sec.
Maybe put that front seat forward. Hang on. Like this seat watches out. There we go. That seat, and then this seat goes right forward. There. There we go.
Okay, now what?
Pull the bracket. Yeah. You gotta lift and pull with a twisting motion. No, I'm kidding.
With your back?
Yeah, it's with your back. As it turns out, it's a little bit harder to remove a front seat than it is to take a back seat. We've been struggling with having the right sockets. We're not really mechanics. Maybe they're welded.
Come on.
That is impossible. Righty tighty, lefty loosey. Bar. Oh, for the love of Tom. For the love of GoPro. Oh, be a mechanic, they say. It's easy. Oh, for the love of, this is just insane. So, there we go. Oh, that was easy. You know, while we're under here, we should just steal the catalytic converter. I think that's what they do these days. Is I wouldn't imagine it'd be fun stealing it from a Dodge Caravan, but this is kind of a location where they're stealing it from. It's up there, over there. You guys can see that. That's the old catalytic converter. This would not be the Don stealing the seat already. Not an ideal car for that sort of thing. Hang on, we gotta take the... Ah!
There we go.
Okay, you got the whole thing?
Yep. It's not near as heavy as the other one.
Look at all the room for activities! This thing's amazing! We've got so much room. Look at, like, I can't stand up, but you know what? I can lay down. Look at this thing. It's huge. So my plan now is to remove the carpet because I want to put some sort of solid surface on here in order to maintain its cleanliness over time. So what I gotta do is get rid of the carpet first to give me a solid surface. I'm gonna probably glue my floor down to the deck. I might add some Tech screws to secure it in place, but we gotta make it a blank slate. In order to get the floor in, we first had to deal with the seats brackets, or the seat little angle things that were anchored to the floor. What I found was they actually protruded a little bit too far out of the floor, so what I ended up using is a battery-powered angle grinder and ended up cutting them off and then using a hammer to further kind of bash them into the floor to make sure they're not protruding out of the floor. So it allows our floor to fit flush. What you got, Don?
A whole load of skid wood.
In the States, they call it pallet wood.
Pallet wood?
A Canadian is a skid wood, but in the U.S., it's pallet wood.
I did not know that.
Well, I've been informed that.
Oh, okay.
I didn't know that either.
So I do have skid or pallet wood.
There you go. You got a whole bunch of pallet wood already denailed. It's the best kind.
Well, it's not denailed. It's the nails have been cut off by the. You can see the nail heads.
So that's the smart way to take apart pallets, is to use the
sawzall with a metal blade.
Yeah. So just cut the nails and leave the nails in. So what's our plan with this, Don?
We're going to use this as flooring.
Nice. So our next part of the plan is to actually install flooring, and my original thought was to run the length of the van, because usually when you install hardwood floors, you want to go with the length of, if your room is really long, you want to go with the lengthwise, not the widthwise. But because we don't really have exactly even floor, we're going to go perpendicular to the ridges in order to give us solid contact. So what we're actually using is self-tapping screws and glue to attach the pallet wood floor, and then once it's all down, we're just going to run our belt sander on it, just give it a nice little tickle, and that'll give us a nice finish, and then we can top coat it with varnish when it gets a little warmer out. How's that for flooring? Oh, it's extra nice because it's in a van. So nice. I really like the way this turned out. We were able to use the panels and actually tuck the wood underneath the panels in order to keep a really clean finish. Otherwise, usually you put baseboard in, but we don't even need to because the plastic fits tight against our flooring. This is like perfect. It's actually better than I anticipated. Don, have you ever put a floor in a van before?
No, I have never done that.
That's off the bucket list now, is it?
That's off the bucket list. One more thing off the bucket list.
There you go. It turned out pretty nice, eh?
It did. I'm just astounded.
Are you marveling at the?
I'm marveling
at the quality of that floor.
Yeah, it looks really good.
We were going to throw money at it, and it turns out you don't need to because it's just pallet wood, right?
That's right.
We'll just sand her out when we're ready to move in. And
there's always pallets on the side of the road.
It's true. Look at that floor. It's beautiful.
We don't have a snow brush.
All right, we're ready to start putting our heating source in, because I want this camper van to be a 4-season van. I want a heat source, but I also want multiple sources of heat. So first off, you got the van. It produces its own heat. But when you don't have your van on, you're going to want an alternative source of heat. So this is where the wood stove comes into place. It's going to be right smack dab right here. It doubles as a cooking surface as well. There'll be a cooktop on it. But first, what we have to do is actually install some sort of fire-resistant floor covering. And for that, I have a chunk of old aluminum I'm going to stick down on the floor in order to prevent my carpet from burning. And you're going to wonder, what else are you going to have to heat this thing? Well, the idea in the height of summer, you don't want a wood burning stove going on in your passenger seat. So what I actually have for that is I have a plan for solar. So in the middle of summer, you can cook on a hot plate or an induction range out the back, which would be ideal because you can have all the doors open, have a nice summer breeze happening. But first, we got to deal with the heat source. There, watch your face.
Jeez.
Jesus!
We could have just undone that bolt. But we don't have sockets here, so.
That was crazy! Well, there's the seatbelt coil. That's happened to me before. I should have known that was going to happen. That was, did that scare you, Don?
Yes, it did.
It was a little frightening. Oh well, look at that. Oh, wing chime. Or a slinky.
Slinky.
Or like an eyeball remover. That's darn near perfect. It's my favorite part of the build. The stove is here. This is the coolest, one of the coolest stoves I've ever seen. I'm not certain if it's just a coal-fired stove or if it's just a little wood stove. It's an Acme stove, anyways. The Roadrunner would probably be very scared of this guy boy, because anyways, the coyote would be using this bad boy to hunt the, perhaps, I don't know, whatever. It looks like it was made by the Gelp Stove Company, or is it the Guelph? The Guelph Stove Company in Ontario. It's old anyways. Story on this guy is actually I bought it from an auction many moons ago, and I thought to myself, this is a really neat stove. I want to put it back in service. So what better place to put it than in the passenger seat of a van? What do you think, Don?
Should do the trick.
This thing should definitely keep a van warm. And the idea is to build a fire, the right size fire. You don't want to pack this thing full of wood and you know, smoke yourself out of your van, because I imagine it's going to be pretty toasty in there. You like hotbox this van.
Yeah.
It'll be toasty. And again, we're going to take the feet off this thing because we want to securely bolt it in the passenger seat area, because you don't want it shaking around while you're driving. And you know, words of the wise is I wouldn't try this necessarily at home. This is more of a concept than something to do in reality. But if you're going to park this van and you want a heat source, a wood stove isn't a bad idea. You always want to take precautions. You want a smoke detector, carbon monoxide detector, all those kind of safety procedures. But yeah, we're going to mount this thing in. We're going to see how she works. We have to adapt the stovepipe in order to accommodate the oval size exit pipe. And it's really cool. It's got a cook surface on it. It's got the little tools. It's got the shaker grates. This thing's gonna rock. Did you have one of these things when you were a kid, Don?
Not one of these, no.
No, these are before your time.
Possibly.
What would you imagine? What year is this thing? Was circa 19?
Oh, man, I have no idea. Probably the 40s, maybe.
40s. I think it's older than that. I think
it could very well be.
I think because if you had access to coal and wood, and you wanted to cook something, you take this and you shove it off to the side, and then you can open the hatch. But I think you can open the hatch, and you can sit off to the side too. Look at, you can have everything off to the side, and then look at, and then you can feed your coal in there, or you can feed it in there. And then you got your shaker grates down below. We don't have the tool for the shaker grates, but those things spin. You can rotate those. I'm sure there's another tool. You rotate, and then your coal and ash fall down in, and then you can clean it out that way. Those old guys did a lot of thinking back in the day, eh?
They sure did. Everything has got a purpose.
It even comes with a really cool tool.
Cool tool, yeah.
Cool tool.
Let's take the door off.
We can reroute that. Well, as it turns out, there's a bunch of wires in the ceiling, and I don't know. This looks important. Probably has something to do with this little console thing here, but this is where I want the stovepipe. So I'm gonna have to splice these guys back together. Luckily, they gave us enough wire, so that's their plan. There's how many wires is there? There's 2, 4, 6, 8. There's like why? Why, Dodge Caravan? Why would you put so many wires in the ceiling? Anyways, we're just gonna splice them back together, and that'll be that. Oh well, live and learn, right? Hey,
We even got our temperature.
we got it working.
Here.
Lights, does that work too?
Yep.
All right, well, it was a minor setback. We got all the lights. We got the center dash working again. As it turns out, there is wires everywhere. Be careful. Mercy.
You don't need the pencil.
Got the inaugural firewood. It's getting colder. Gotta fire this thing up. I've never lit one of these before, so I imagine you put the fuel in there, and then I think you light it up from the bottom. check that out. Oh, that's awesome. I put that on top of there. Cook on it. Look how well, like there's no smoke coming out of that thing. That's
See the heat, but no smoke.
that's crazy. Why is there smoke coming off the top? Well, guys, we got the fire all fired up. As you can see, it's working really, really well. The damper seems to control it really, really well, and also the door itself seems to. So we got our full rip. We've got the damper on the chimney is open. So if you close this guy, you can open them. There's a damper up top here, but there's also a damper down below. So we can actually slow it down. So there we go. We just lit it, but as you can hear, snap, crackle, pop. That thing's. You can fire it back up. Open the dampers. She's gonna light right back up. That is so cool. We've had it on for about 20 minutes, 30 minutes. We've had all the kind of stuff that was on top of the stove burn off, so we don't got that smell anymore. It's like curing a new stove anytime you've got a stove kind of sitting in storage. So this is working really well, and it's kind of, the temperature in here is getting warmer as expected, and you always kind of want to light the right size fire for the area you're in. And it is a van. We're talking like 35, 40 square feet of the space here. This is a stove you really gotta kind of light the right size fire. And yeah, just be careful with what you're doing. I don't recommend doing this, but hey, you know, just try it, see if it works. That thing works pretty darn good. In order to build our sleeping accommodation, we ended up using a bunch of old pallet wood that we had laying around. We used 2x4s for the sides and ends, and then we used 2x4s again for the feet. And then once we had the frame basically built, we used the top parts of the pallet wood in order to make our decking. And then we evenly spaced them to allow airflow throughout the mattress, and then we brad nailed them in place in order to secure them from bouncing around. There you go, bed. We added a little side piece on here for our accessories. So when you're laying in bed and you want a place to put your phone, you got it. And convenient enough, you have your cigarette lighter or your 12-volt adapter from the vehicle to charge your phone. That's pretty cool. All right, so at this stage of the game, we kind of want somewhere where we can stand underneath the canopy of the Dodge Caravan and have a place to stay out of the rain and kind of cook. Because we don't necessarily want to cook inside the van. We want to be able to be on outside, kind of tailgating. We're going to be boondocking on the outside of the Dodge Caravan. So my plan is to put some side rails. These are my side rails. They go about here. And then this piece of wood, piece of plywood, again another piece of skid wood, and it slides in there. And it'll allow it to slide in and out and allow us to have a cook surface. And then when we're not cooking on our surface, we can slide it under the bed out of the way for traveling. I think it's gonna work. We just gotta secure the wood. You know, hold this thing up. You just pull it right up to the edge, just the kitty corner. Got it? Just pull it up. Good. Right there. Right there. Slide her in. Oh, that's beautiful. Oh, too far. Too far. Too far. Too much. Good. There. That's perfect. That'll hold a lot of stuff. There you go. Nice little cooking surface area. Alright, so now the plan is to create some sort of a table so when you're inside you have a place to work or put your laptop, or say you're writing, you want your place to put a book, or if you're writing like, I don't know, pen and paper. So that's my plan here, is to take a piece of plywood, I'm going to cut it to length, and then I'm going to actually square it off a little bit are unsquared off to give it a little bit more forgiveness. Frankie. All right, so this is where our shelf's gonna go. We just gotta secure it with a couple of hinges. I got some old hinges from, these are door hinges. I got a little bit of paint on them, but that's okay. We're gonna put it right about there, right about there. That's gonna allow it to kind of fold out of the way when we don't need it, and fold up when we do. Now we just need to stick there. All right, so the original plan was to take this little triangle piece and attach a hinge to it and secure it to this little back section here. And what it was going to do was going to hold the thing up, and then it was going to pivot out of the way. It turns out this is too thick. So sometimes the simplest solution is the best solution. So what I've come up with is a simple stick, and the stick has got a block on both sides, and it allows it to hold the shelf up like that. So you can be up in the upright position when you want to actually use it. So if you get your laptop, or you sit with your book or your recipe, or if you want to be inside sitting here and not be in the weather, you've got this little table here. And then when you're traveling, what you do is you take the stick out and then you secure it up there and you put it down. In order to make my chair, I used pieces of pallet wood for the legs and then 4 more pieces of pallet wood for the sides. And then what I did was I took the old seat belts that we removed from the van and did sort of a basket weave pattern in order to give us a nice, soft, cushiony spot to sit. That's like one of the most comfortable chairs I think I've ever sat on in my life. It's got like, it's like sitting on a hammock. It's a hammock for your butt. Stow and go. So you take your chair and you can bring it with you. And it's nice and light. And then when you're done, put it up, lay down. There. Stable storage compartment. Chair. Table. You try it, Don. Try, come sit down on the chair. Check it out.
Wow, it is comfortable. It is very nice. Look at that.
Isn't it crazy? So yeah, like, so you pull this thing out, and then you got your chair to sit at your table. It's indoor shoe time, Don.
Yeah, look at these nice new Nordivate shoes.
Aren't they pretty cool?
They are.
Very
nice.
They reached out to us and wanted to send Don some shoes. So there's some shoes. The link will be in the description below. Nordivate. They got the high tops.
Waterproof.
Those should be waterproof, and they come with spare laces, which is really cool. Anyways, thanks Nordivate. Don's gonna have some new shoes.
Yeah, thanks Nordivate.
So that's pretty cool. Don got a new pair, some swag, some Nordivate shoes. They reached out to us and wanted to send us some cool stuff. So I said, Don's a size 9. If you want to send Don some shoes, he's got some summer shoes now. He got the indoor shoes, as they would call it in school. So we're at the stage now where we've got pretty much everything buttoned up. A big part of the reason why I selected this particular van is because it's inconspicuous. This thing looks pretty much stock from the outside. It's got a nice dark tint on the back, so you can't really tell what's going on with no lights on. You actually, if you look really closely, you can't even see what's going on in the back. So daytime, when you have, you're camping in the back, nobody can really tell unless they get really close to the windows to peek in. But at that point, your cover's kind of blown anyways. I guess the chimney could be a little bit shorter, or you could just remove it and cap it off if you really want to go incognito in the summertime. But in the wintertime, nobody's really hanging around your vehicle anyway. So that's kind of why I wanted to pick this thing. And what's also neat is that these back windows, they fold out, so you can have a little bit of ventilation. I've got some future plans for that, so I can have some screen, so you get a little bit of ventilation when you're parked in the summertime and you don't want it so stuffy in there, but you also don't want people reaching in to get you. So I think that this turned out really nice. As you guys can see, we got the lighting in, Ecoflow Delta pack over there, powering everything. We got it, you know, well secured. We got a little seat belt. We repurposed the seat belt in order to hold it in place so it doesn't fly around. This guy is really neat because it gives you line voltage. So in the future, when we go camping with this van, is we can plug all our cooking appliances and fridges and whatnot in it. It's got DC voltage, so 12-volt voltage. It's got line voltage as well, and you can charge your phones and your tablets and all your cool stuff. Not to mention, it saves the battery on the van when you're parked and you want lighting. So as you can see, our lights are controlled. Right, where's our button? There's our button. So you turn them on, turn them off that way, and which is really cool. And then if we need to, say if it's inclement weather and you want to take your battery out, you hit your seat belt and allows you to pull your whole battery out right out. It's perfect. I guess less than secure locations, you want to take your battery with you because it's worth a lot. You do. So anyways, so this is the inside of our camping van. So as you guys can see, we've got our wood stove. So in the wintertime, when we want to have a nice warm spot to hang out, we can you know, get some wood, throw it in here, and it warms the place quite nicely. We could also use the heater on the van, and the air conditioning, I believe, works. So in the summertime, when you want to cool off a little bit, you can have it running and cool yourself down. And then we've got over here kind of like a little workstation, which is our little flip up desk. Flips up, flips down. The other thing, which is really neat, is that I took a run over to Princess Auto the other day and I grabbed some bins. They had some of these bins on for $2, which is really cool. They fit nicely underneath my bed, so I've got storage so I can put all my stuff underneath there. Blankets, doodads, knives, axes, whatever you got. And also, here's a little bit of a life hack. They have moving blankets. Moving blankets are probably the cheapest form of blankets, and they're really sound deadening. So I picked up a couple of those because what's really neat is you can hang them like you would hang your clothing in your car. They've got little hooks at the sides there, and you can hang up the moving blanket when you're parked to add a little bit of privacy and a little bit of sound deadening. So it's not like you're sleeping in a car, you're sleeping in an own camper. So that's why I got a couple of those, which are always cool. I think they were a couple of bucks. They were a couple of bucks at Princess Auto. But yeah, smoke detector / carbon monoxide detector, because that's always good when you're wanting to have a wood burning appliance. We've got our custom built bench made out of some reclaimed seatbelt material, and that actually is really comfortable. So when we're wanting to use it on the outside, say you got a sunny day and you're in the parking lot somewhere and you really want to kind of enjoy the outdoors, you can plop your bench down. You got your chair, and then you got your desk for cooking. Maybe you just want to sit there and read a book, and you've got your canopy overhead, so if it is a little bit rainy, you can be protected from the weather. You hear how quiet that is? That's how quiet it is on the inside of this thing. You can actually hear the old crackling of the wood stove. It'll be really nice because you can actually cook on top of that. You can put your little frying pan or making your coffee. Don's still working on the outside. He's cutting up some firewood, so we have some firewood. But as you can see, it's extremely quiet in here, much like any vehicle on the inside. So it's got that going for it. It's got built-in insulation, which is quite convenient, especially for a cabin build. I think we're pretty much wrapped up. I hope you guys enjoyed this one, and I hope you join me on the next one. We actually take this thing out on a rip. This thing's gonna be awesome.